Hey, what's up, everybody? We're still here at Vegas 2024 at the AASP conference. We're here with Brittany, and she's another Barry student. We just had some more on the podcast, but we're gonna have a Barry extravaganza. So tell us a little about yourself, what you're trying to do with your career, because I'm big on seeing where the next phase of your life will be, because in this industry, there's so many ways you could go. So
Absolutely.
let us know.
Yeah, so I'm going to Barry. This is going to be my second year, so I'm going to graduate in May. One of the biggest things that I focus on is the recovery of injury,
Nice.
because I went through a bunch of knee surgeries through my life playing soccer. So now I coach soccer, and then I want to be involved in helping athletes or people in general recover from their injuries on the mental side, because an injury is so mental more than it is physical, in my opinion.
I agree, because it's always that lingering feeling of, will I hurt it again, or am I ready? And I feel that side of it obviously gets talked about. There's definitely a lot of research on it, but I feel it's emphasized, in my personal opinion. You can tell me if you agree or not, but do you think is it getting enough attention from the side of, are we doing enough as practitioners? I know of it, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it.
I don't personally think so. I mean, I did when my first injuries occurred with my ACL and stuff like that. I was in 2015. So I didn't have any resources at that time. And I still don't know that many resources in general that have it, because I think it's so much harder to battle the mental side of this than it is the physical side, like I just mentioned before. But it's also the problem of people believing that they need to be where they were prior to the injury. So that adds so much to them trying to get back to that place. And sometimes it's just not there. You have to become a new athlete, but you might not have the resources to talk to someone to come to terms with that.
So I'm going to say something that I actually dealt with when I was injured. And sadly, I had a lot of those in my athletic career. I was a track guy, football and baseball, but track is what I went to college for. And I had a lot of hamstring issues. And one
Those
thing,
are tough.
tell me if you feel me on this or resonate with this, and maybe people watching can, but I always have this weird feeling I would forget how I felt not to be hurt. And it was like a distant memory, like, dang, I wonder what it was like when I wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
And it made it hard for me to even get in the mindset to get back to better performance. So is that something you see or experience yourself?
Absolutely.
Or am I weird?
I think that's also like a kind of a subconscious thing in the same sense, because even if you don't think that you're doing that, your readiness might not be at the same level, because you're holding back, because you know it's there, even if you're not thinking about it in the moment. Like if you're in the race or something like that, and you're like, wow, like what was it like prior to this? But then you're like, okay, I'm going to just start running. But your body still senses that you're thinking that.
Yep.
And so you're thinking about that. I mean, for me, because I've had 5 surgeries on my left knee and 1 on my right. So just my body's off in general. So even like going to kick a soccer ball or even juggle the soccer ball, I feel like my body doesn't move the same.
Okay.
And I don't remember what it was like at this point. But
So I heard you talking to Wagner off camera about lifting, squatting, CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely goes a lot hand in hand with injury recovery, because I notice a lot of times, because I have a strength and conditioning background as well, that people are scared to push themselves, especially from the weight room side of things or just training in general, because they don't want to get hurt. But in an ironic sense, that's keeping them weaker.
absolutely.
So how do you personally, because you're very fit and you work out, how did that come into your practice, or what you look to do in your practice eventually when you get into it? Is that going to be a big role of getting
I
them
hope
physically
so.
strengthened
Yeah, 'cause
as a part of your business?
Yeah, I'd like to get like strength and conditioning, just like certifications and stuff in general like that. But for me, even like going from the female perspective also, because there's still a stigma out there that like girls shouldn't lift heavy weights. I mean, if
Which
we
is
can say
wrong.
like for any girls watching this, like I can deadlift about 190 pounds. I'm only about 120. I don't look that big. So
That's
it's not like you're going to grow,
respectable.
first off. But yeah, I think it's so important, because like I was telling him, I've been working more on mobility and dropping the weight. So then when like my knee is like going through surgeries and stuff, the mobility is so much more of a key, because then I can do stuff outside of the gym. Like I can lift boxes, I can lift a couch, I can lift my groceries, like
Functional.
different things. Functional. I think that's really the key part. And it's a long-term process. So incorporating that and just getting yourself moving will help set you up for the future.
It's funny you say that. Me and Wagner, I'm using him again. He's going to be like, oh, he's talking about me so much. So we were walking to breakfast earlier in a place right down the street, like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And there was some water, and I think I like stepped over it, but the back of my shoe, I was wearing slides, so it didn't help,
Oh.
hit some of it, and I slipped, and I caught myself. And going to your point, I said, and we looked at each other, like, dang, you all right? And I was like, if I wasn't in shape or athletic, that would have went way worse, because I was able to stabilize myself. So it goes to the point of being functional, because a lot of times we train to be good looking, naked or whatever, which is fine.
Great.
Aesthetics is cool. But I want to be able to, this is one of my personal goals. When I'm 35 now, when I'm like 50, 60, I want to still be able to do, obviously not at a high level, but sprint, jump, maybe not lift super heavy, but I want to be able to do explosive movements.
Yeah.
I was a broad and or a long and triple jumper in college. So I like that type of training. And obviously I'm not going to be doing 60-inch box jumps, but I want to still be able to have that ability to perform those movements. And going back to the whole injury thing, as we get older, people think it's like an automatic that my body's going to break down and get feeble and I'm going to break a hip or something. But it's the contrary. If you build it up now, you're going to have that stability and able to be resilient physically and mentally once you get to the 50, 60, 70 range. Because there is, it's not the majority, but you've seen probably Instagram videos where it's a 70-year-old lifting weight or running 10 miles or something like that. So I want to wrap up with this. You saw them do it. So you're going to get 2 though.
Okay.
So the take home 2.
Okay.
And you don't have no one to put it on first. So leave us with something that when you say these 2 things, people at home watching can turn this off and say, wow, I'm going to go put that into action. So go.
Okay, so, when I heard you talking about it earlier, I think one of the biggest things for me, I actually got it tattooed on myself. It says day by day.
Okay.
So, like we're talking about here with the injuries, a lot of it, you have to take it day by day because it's not where I need to be, where I should be. It's where I am right now. It's the same with the mobility and the strength that we were talking about. You can't go out there and all of a sudden press 50-pound dumbbells. It's not going to happen. You got to start from the beginning. You got to go day by day. Same with the mobility, day by day.
That's a good one.
It's one of my favorite ones.
All right. And what's your second?
What's my second? I think my second would be trying to stay in the present. I mean, going back to that, where you should be. A lot of times, especially with the social media, which we all had a conversation with off camera about how there's so much out there and it's pushing you to do so much so quickly. Like people see like the viralness overnight and stuff like that. But a lot of times it's not going to happen. You have to do, like you were mentioning yesterday, sometimes not free work, but you have to do things to build up to get to a point. So you have to get connections, you have to make things, but you might not be getting paid for it right away.
Yep.
So it's
a lot of
just staying in the day and taking it, connecting back to the day by day.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Bring it full circle.
Yeah.
All right. So good stuff. So let the people at home know where to find you, social media wise, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you got, let them know.
All right. So on LinkedIn, Brittany Campanello is my full name. And then on Instagram, it's Brit_camps. So.
All right. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Great stuff. And as always, get your mind right.